Hey everyone, welcome back to a sim racing experience. My name's Jose and I'm a sim racer here in Miami. Welcome to section 8 of the beginner's guide. Today I'm just going to be going over some drills that I use when I'm practicing. And the first recommendation, it's focusing on a single section. So get around the track, figure out the section that you feel the least comfortable in and focus on that section. That section's going to be, if you focus on that section, what's going to happen is that you'll put your attention there. You'll start getting better and better around that area, and it's just going to build your confidence throughout the entire lap, so that when you build your confidence there, the next corners make a little bit more sense. The next corners perhaps will make a little bit more sense, and the entire track will then come together a little bit easier for you. So when you're focusing on a section, just focus on the entry and exit point. Just focus on the entry and exit points. Focus on when you're braking. Focus on when you're getting right back on the throttle or modulating both pedals and how much modulation you're doing. And just be aware of that and record that in your mind so that when you go back to that corner, you either do it again or you make slight input changes until the corner makes more sense and you find more time. The more and more you do it, the more second nature it becomes, and the easier it becomes to become more confident and try different things and ultimately finding more speed. Another thing that I tend to practice a lot is the race starts, and usually in most of the cars that I drive, I'm also driving with the clutch pedal, so it's important to be able to have a good launch because several things. You want to make sure that if a formation lap is starting, you're ready to go and that you don't stall the car, because if you stall the car, I mean, it's like stalling a car in real life and you're going to hold somebody up behind you probably. You also want to have a good launch for any race start from a standing start. And if you spin out and the car stalls, you also want to be able to catch the clutch, or you also want to make sure that you catch the clutch fast enough to be able to get a restart as quick as possible so you can get back on track. So those race starts are very important in you getting comfortable with the clutch pedal and getting comfortable with the bite point of the clutch, so that next time you're working with the clutch, it becomes a lot easier for you. That's another thing too. You really want that clutch pedal to become second nature, just like in real life, so that you can get the most performance out of it. And the last drill for right now, it's going to be the racing line. And here is where you're going to figure out the best racing line that works for you. And here you're going to figure out what line works best for you. And here's where you can really use other drivers to follow them on track, see where they're braking, see where they're turning in. And it's really going to help you to develop your own racing line. And eventually you'll become consistent at that line. And once you feel comfortable on the ideal racing line, it's always important to get creative and sort of get off that racing line and explore if it's safe. And sometimes you'll be surprised that you can find time off the line, and if you set yourself up outside of the ideal line just because it makes more sense, sometimes that happens and you end up finding much more time. So it's important to stay on the ideal line, but it's also very important to take a look around and just as a driver, find that edge and find that little bit of competitiveness within the track limits so that you can find the most time. And that's going to be it for section 8. I'm going to see you tomorrow in the last section for this beginner's guide. And tomorrow there's actually going to be a whole free PDF that I'm going to be attaching to the video, and basically this entire guide is going to be available in a 3-page PDF. So if anybody wants to either share it with somebody that wants to get into sim racing, or somebody that just doesn't have the time to see all the videos, if they just want to quickly glance at this, it's just a short breakdown of brands and just kind of tips and ideas on sim racing based on my sim racing experience. So that PDF is going to be available tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. See ya.